Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Man, I have enough Amazon boxes in here to look like an Amazon warehouse. Anyway, today we are working on the 2021 Dodge Durango, and I figured while we have it up in the air, we're going to be doing an oil change, but let's take a peek underneath and let's see what it looks like. So, under here you have your wind guard, your splash guard for underneath the front. And I will be looking at my camera as we go, just to make sure I got the right angles on everything. But here's your drive shaft going back. So that goes into your transfer case, which goes into your rear wheel or your four-wheel drive. Work from the back. Here's your spare. So it's not a full-size spare. It's going to be like one of those like super-sized, full-size donuts per se. So you got that going on. And so here is your rear suspension. So that's nice and beefy, which is good to see. Nice big chunky spring. And you have your rear shock onto your rear stabilizer bar. So, I mean, that's really good to see. You got a nice big beefy ball joint under there. And you got your sway bar linkage and stuff. It's set up really nice back here, nice and beefy. I mean, this is like good beefy stuff that you like to see on a four-wheel drive vehicle, especially like your Dodge Durango. So this is your exhaust. So you have the basically single exhaust because this is the V6 version. So it still has a lot of power, and it's got the exhaust that's running back through here. I'm sorry, it's got the dual exhaust on it. Your V6 that goes into your exhaust manifold, and then it runs to your rear tailpipe going out to your rear muffler. So, I mean, that's good. It's good to see. I mean, this tailpipe is nice and beefy, so you're definitely going to get the exhaust pressure that you need going through here. So, you got your dual cats up here, so it makes the environment nice and safe and clean for everybody to breathe. And then we come up here. So this is your front suspension. Again, this is a nice big beefy lower control arm that you like to see, especially with the big ball joint underneath. That's good. Then you got your brakes. Goes up into attaches to your knuckle where you have the front drive connected into your front suspension. And then you got your shock, the basically big beefy bolt going on the other side of your front suspension, going up into your struts. And then this is the other side. Let's get more of a front view for that. And again, this is your tie rods. So that's good to see, nice and beefy on there as well. And like I said, even your sway bar. I mean, that's a pretty thick sway bar. And it's always good to see that they pay special attention to vehicles, especially if they're not going off-roading, but they add the right amount of beef to the suspension. So keep this truck going for a long time. And you can tell they took great care in like the structure supports underneath. There's like extra metal just for more stabilization on the whole frame of the vehicle, which is good. And like I said, you have this mid like muffler to quiet down on the noise, and that's basically where all the exhaust connects together. And again, just going through, you have the four-wheel disc brakes, so it's good to see. And I mean, this is a really, really big, strong, beefy-looking rear suspension on this vehicle. I'm very impressed with the size of everything back here. I mean, it's good. They did a good job on that. That's good to see. Again, you'd like to see the full-size spare tire underneath, but again, the way that the everything's going, it is good to see that this is a full-size circumference-wise spare, even though you don't have the width that you need and that you're looking for, but at least it's going to give you a symmetrical ride all the way around versus having one of those donuts on your car. So I guess it's a big donut, and that's basically everything. So we're going to jump right into the oil change underneath here. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that. Let me put my old phone down. And this is your oil pan that's underneath. So it's always good to see that the oil pan is higher than a full body of your vehicle. So just in case you had a rock or road debris, the oil pan and the transmission are going to be protected because it is underneath like the main supports of the vehicle. So that's always a good thing to see. But let's get this oil draining, and I believe that was a 13 millimeter that's on here. So we'll get this on here. Okay. And let's get our little oil pan in place and ready to drain. And I'm testing out a new light today, so hopefully we get a lot better lighting and camera work. All right, so quick drain. And it does take 5 quarts for this 6 liter. And we're going to let that drain down completely. And we're actually going to do a tire rotation, because that is going to make sure to get the most mileage out of your Durango tires, or any vehicle for that matter. So let me see what size socket that was. I think that was that's a 22. Yeah, so it's a 22 millimeter lug. So we'll get that going in a second as soon as we get this oil drained out completely. And it's draining nicely. And if you've noticed, the oil filter is nowhere to be found underneath this vehicle. So that means that the oil filter is going to be up in the engine compartment, up there on top. And that little doohickey there is not the oil filter. So please don't try to remove that. But anyway, we'll go up top and I'll show you that as soon as we're done draining here. And we're just about done. So we're going to bring that down. And we're going to fast forward through this part just to get the oil completely drained down to where we need it. Okay, we're just about drained, and we're not going to get too much more out of that, and this thing will actually drain forever. So anyway, we'll put this back in, because we got as much as we're probably going to get out without sitting here for another hour. And make sure we tighten this down. And again, you want to torque it to spec. You don't want to over tighten that. And let's get this out of the way. Alright, so we're done with that. Let's close this drawer of tools. Alright, next we are going to bring it down to wheel height, and we're going to rotate the tires. And again, to get the most life out of your tires, every oil change, just rotate them. And I do front to back. I don't try to go like crisscross like they used to do in the old days. Mainly because you have a lot of directional tires nowadays. And it's sometimes that's not good for the tires to be rotated around like that. Alright, so let's go with the tire rotation. So that's your front. And we always do a quick brake inspection. This is pretty new, so everything looks nice and good. Check for wear anywhere, any leaks. Everything looks nice and tight. That's also the inside view of your knuckle and your tie rods and stuff. And I mean, look at that sway bar. That is a big piece of metal. All right, let's go back here. Those are some big lug nuts on here too. Nice and beefy. I thought they were the chrome covered ones, but oh yeah, I guess it's got the foil, but it looks like a better lug nut than normal. Put this right onto the front. Okay, let's get these lug nuts put on. All right, I'll tighten that up in a second. Get this back tire on. Get that all tightened down. All right. Tighten up the front. There's tire back here. quick brake inspection. Now it's good on that side. Alright, sorry about the compressor noise, but while we're at it, we're going to bring up tire pressure. And we're going to bring it up to 39. And again, you want to look for your what the recommended tire pressure is. I usually home in around 39 on most modern day tires. Just so I keep it above the old standard of 35. And some newer light truck tires, you can put them up to like 42 pounds, some even higher, but this is good enough for this vehicle and these tires. And again, you always want to check your tire pressure. That's good. Alright, so nice good tire pressure there. Alright, let's get ready to bring it all the way down. Sure everything's clear. And sorry about the compressor noise, just part of the operation. Alright, we will torque these wheels at the end, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so next is going to be where do we fill the oil and where is the oil filter. So right here is the cap for your oil filter. And then underneath here, you pop this up. That's a little trap door for you. And then you have one 10mm bolt that's here that's holding this cover firmly in place. So take that out. And then this basically just pops out. I'll put this off to the side. And so this is your fill for your oil. And behind here is going to be your oil filter. So, and it's a cartridge type oil filter. So it comes with a little O-ring and stuff in there. So you want to make sure that you get in there. And what you need is it's a 24mm socket that goes on that with an extension, so you can kind of see how it goes on. And you need obviously a little bit of a bigger wrench to get that off with. So I'll get that set and see how that's coming off. Alright, so put this off to the side, and this will come out completely. And then we just pull that oil filter out, and you can see how that was leaking pretty good there. So we'll let that filter drain, and then we'll come over here and get the new filter ready. And since it has a new O-ring, we're going to put the new O-ring on. And you can see right around the top here is that little O-ring. So we're going to get a little hook that we are going to grab. And then we use this little tool here. Just basically kind of like ride it around, and you'll be able to pull that old O-ring off pretty easy. Right in the garbage. And then with your new O-ring, you want to put it back on. And what you're doing is you're kind of like rolling it down the cover. Easier said than done. It's a little on the tight side, but once you start working it, you can roll it down, and then you want to put it right back in that groove all the way. There you go. So see how it's sitting nice and smooth in that groove? Okay. And the new oil filter, basically it punches in there, and you hear it get that little snap, and then this goes back down in. And then you start your threads. Pretty good. And then with your 1/2 inch extension, 1/2 inch wrench, put it down, and you want to go as far as until it bottoms out. You'll feel it when it completely just like stops. Okay, so you don't want to over tighten it, so make sure you torque it to spec. And the torque settings are on that, so you can set your torque wrench. And we'll put that there. Then next you want to fill your oil. And this engine actually has 2 different specifications depending on where you look. It takes 020 or 520 oil. So depending on your area and your climate, you got to make that decision. And again, it's based on what the manufacturer recommends. So today we're going to use 5W20. This is the Pennzoil, full synthetic. So it's some of the better stuff. And it's basically 5 quarts. So that's what the engine is calling for. So it comes with this easy pour. And as soon as I get it on its side a little bit more, it'll pour a lot easier. There we go. So it's got a nice good pour. And don't go too fast, otherwise you can overfill your funnel. But it's pouring in pretty good. And if you can tell, I'm getting close to the top, so I'm just going to back off a little bit as we pour, just to kind of like let that go down. Alright, we're just about done. So we're just going to let this go down. Okay, so we're going to let that basically prop that up like so, and hopefully it'll sit there while we drain. Stay. Okay, so this is your air filter, so it's a good thing to change this, I don't know, like every couple oil changes, every 12,000 miles or so, to get the most fuel efficiency out of your engine, because your engine needs to breathe. And then you just want to basically kind of look, see if there's anything leaking. So this is your coolant level, and it is a little low. So we're gonna top this coolant level off for the customer, because that's what we do. We're here to help people. So that still had a pretty good vacuum on it. So we're just gonna top that off. And we're going to use a universal. Okay, so we're at the minimum. I'm going to add a little bit more since it's winter. I'm not trying to splash it. I'm splashing a little bit. Okay, so we're at the max level, so that's all we're going to do there. And I'm going to put that back down nice and tight. And then looks like they're good on. It's could use some washer fluid. I can kind of see it's a little low, so we'll get that in a minute. While we're here, that is your master cylinder, so we want to look at the brake fluid level, so it's exactly where it's supposed to be. And then everything else looks good. So we're going to get this. Boy, my hands are filthy. Okay, so that's your oil. That's done draining in. And put your oil cap back on. Okay. Make sure it's tight. Tight, but not too tight. You guys know what I mean. Okay. So while we're here, we want to check the oil after we filled it and see where it is on the dipstick. So it looks good. We get one more reading just to kind of see exactly where we're sitting at. So okay, so that's full. So we're good to see there. And we check the belt for any wear or breaks or anything. But again, this is so new, there shouldn't be any issues. But I would love to replace the serpentine belt because this looks so easy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that is basically, that's it. That's your overview of your Dodge Durango. And if you see, the battery is not here. So where is the battery? But they give you a jumping terminal here. And the battery will actually be in the back of the vehicle in the trunk area. So that's to just kind of like free up some more room up here. And then this is going to be your all your fuses and relays and stuff in the engine compartment. And other than that, that is it. And like I said, you got some more room, so you know when they get the big V8s in these things, you can definitely put them in there. All right, let's put this back together. So this is going to be your cover. And like I said, it's got that little bolt thing here, and it's got little, I guess, little nubs that pulls that thing down. So stop any road vibration. And let's put this back in. All right, so we torqued that out. That's good to go. Actually, we're done with that. And then this is our little compartment top. Okay, and we look good. And we're going to go in and check what the mileage is. So we're going to write out a new window sticker. Oh, actually, before I get too far ahead, let's torque these wheel nuts down just so I can show you exactly how that process is done. This is your torque wrench. And you want to torque it to spec, so whatever the manufacturer is calling for on your lug nuts. And then we're going to tighten these down. We'll listen for the click and the torque. And then I always go just like a quarter turn more, just to make sure that we got it properly torqued out. And I always keep, if you have a lift, that's great. If you don't, no big deal. But I always use the lift arms as kind of a marker on where I've been, what I've done. So I know I've torqued that wheel so I don't forget. Okay. You can tell it's winter time here in PA. All right, so those are good. Get that arm out of the way. That next arm out of the way. Alright, so we're good there. I'll put that there. Torque wrench away. Let me take my gloves off so I can put the new window sticker in. And I keep my window stickers down here. I always like these extreme Sharpies because the weather doesn't fade them. And we come in and we can look. It's got 1,428 miles. So we'll make that for 5,000, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19,000 miles will be the next change. 19,000. Yeah, my handwriting's terrible. So it's the end of January, so we'll make it February, March, April, May. February, March, April. We'll make it April. So we'll make it 90 days. Holy cow! I am tired today, everybody. Okay, and it's 22. So I usually do 90 days, 3 months. Typically, it's the end of January. February, March, April, yeah, so we're 4 months. Man. And then sneaking in here, this is the other window sticker. Oh, and I smudged it. All right, so we'll fill this out. Next service date is going to be 4/22. Meaning the year, mileage, it's going to be 19,000. And then we'll peel this, put it in the window. Put that away for safekeeping. And then we will peel this window sticker. And we'll put it right there. Okay. All right, other than that, this job is done. Brian from Garage Mahal, and this is your 2021 Dodge Durango underview, oil change, and tire rotation. Okay, be safe out there, everybody.